Welcome to Philosophy Decoded, where we explore timeless wisdom for modern life. Let's decode today's philosophy. Your boss just took credit for your work in front of the entire team. Everyone heard it, everyone knows it was yours. And your boss is standing there, smiling, acting like they came up with the entire strategy themselves. You have two options: explode with anger and look emotional, or say nothing and look weak. Both are losses. Both give away your power. The Stoics discovered a third option 2,000 years ago. And it's the reason Marcus Aurelius could rule an empire while being constantly disrespected by senators, generals, and rivals who thought they deserved his throne. He didn't explode. He didn't go silent. He responded with calm authority that made his critics look small without him ever raising his voice. This is Stoic power. And it works in the conference room exactly like it worked in the Roman Senate. Here are 5 Stoic response frameworks you can use the next time someone disrespects you. Response 1. The mirror. Someone insults you. Your natural reaction is to defend yourself or insult them back. The Stoic does neither. Instead, you hold up a mirror. Epictetus taught, when someone behaves badly toward you, remember that they are showing you who they are, not who you are. The mirror response reflects the disrespect back to its source without you touching it. Example: a colleague publicly dismisses your idea in a meeting with sarcasm. Most people either get defensive or attack back. Both reactions prove the colleague got under your skin. Both are losses. The mirror response. That's an interesting way to disagree with someone. Tell me more about your alternative. Watch what happens. You didn't defend. You didn't attack. You calmly observed their behavior and invited them to explain themselves. Now they're on the spot. Their sarcasm looked clever when you were the target. Now they have to actually defend a position. The room sees exactly what happened. You gave them enough rope. They did the rest. The mirror doesn't argue. It reflects. And reflection reveals. Response 2. The redefinition. Someone tries to insult you by calling you something they think is negative. The Stoic response is to accept the label and redefine it as a compliment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." The redefinition response takes away the power of the insult by refusing to accept its intended meaning. Example: someone calls you cold or unemotional because you didn't react to their provocation. Weak response: I'm not cold, I just don't think it's worth getting upset about. That's defense. Defense is admission that their framing has power. Stoic response: you're right. I don't let emotions make my decisions. Thanks for noticing. You took their insult and turned it into a description of self-control. They tried to shame you. You treated it as recognition of strength. Now they look foolish. They thought cold was an attack. You heard disciplined and agreed. Seneca used this constantly. Critics called him too wealthy for a philosopher. He said, "I never claimed poverty makes you virtuous. I claimed virtue makes you free regardless of wealth." Redefinition isn't denial. It's refusal to accept someone else's framing of reality. Response 3. The question. The most powerful Stoic weapon is curiosity. Not because you actually want to know the answer. Because questions force people to defend positions they haven't thought through. Socrates built his entire method on this. Ask questions. Let people talk. Watch them contradict themselves. Example: someone disrespects you by implying you're not qualified for a role you've been doing successfully for years. Defensive response: I've been doing this job for 5 years and our numbers have improved every quarter. That's justification. Justification is weak because it accepts their frame that you need to prove yourself. Stoic response: what specifically makes you think someone would be unqualified after 5 years of measurable success? Quote: you didn't defend. You asked them to explain their logic. And their logic doesn't exist. They were taking a shot. Now they have to back it up. Watch them scramble. Well, I just meant. Or, I didn't say unqualified, I just. Or, it was just a suggestion. Quote. Questions are traps. Confident people ask questions. Insecure people defend themselves. The Stoic knows. If you're secure in your position, you don't need to defend it. You can just ask people to explain why they're attacking it. Response 4. The agreement. This is the most counterintuitive Stoic response. Someone insults you, and you agree with them completely. But you agree so calmly and so thoroughly that the insult loses all power. Marcus Aurelius. If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any thought or action, I shall gladly change. It is the truth I seek, and the truth never harmed anyone. Example. Someone publicly says you made a mistake on a project. Defensive response. That wasn't actually a mistake, the client changed requirements midway through. You're defending, explaining, justifying. You look rattled. Stoic response. You're absolutely right. I made that call based on the initial brief. When requirements changed, the approach was no longer optimal. Good catch. Watch what happens. They expected defense. They got calm agreement. Now what? They can't fight someone who isn't fighting back. They can't win an argument you're not having. And everyone watching sees someone who is so secure they can admit mistakes without it threatening their competence. The agreement response takes the weapon out of their hand by making the insult a neutral observation of fact. Response 5. The silence. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Silence in the face of disrespect isn't weakness. It's the ultimate display of self-control. It says, your opinion of me is so irrelevant that I won't even waste energy acknowledging it. Quote, but there's a technique to Stoic silence. Weak silence looks like you're hurt and don't know what to say. Stoic silence looks like you heard them and decided they're not worth your time. The difference is in your body language and what you do immediately after. Example. Someone makes a disrespectful comment about your work in front of others. Weak silence. Look down, say nothing, continue what you were doing but clearly bothered. Stoic silence. Make eye contact for 2 seconds. No expression. Then calmly turn your attention to something else as if they literally did not just speak. You didn't ignore them because you're hurt. You dismissed them because they're irrelevant. Marcus Aurelius dealt with constant insults from political rivals. His response was often total silence followed by continuing to govern effectively. The silence said, you're beneath my notice. Watch me rule while you complain. Silence is only powerful when it's chosen, not when it's forced by not knowing what to say. The pattern behind all 5 responses. Notice what all 5 responses have in common. None of them are defense. None of them are attack. Defense makes you look weak. Attack makes you look emotional. Stoic responses do something different. They reveal that the disrespect doesn't have power over you because you refuse to give it power. The mirror reflects. The redefinition reframes. The question exposes. The agreement neutralizes. The silence dismisses. All 5 say the same thing. Your attempt to disrespect me says something about you, not about me. And I'm not interested in playing your game. This is what Epictetus meant when he said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Someone disrespecting you is an external circumstance. Your response is the only thing you control. And your response is the only thing that matters. Most people give away their power by reacting emotionally. They let the disrespect land. They let it dictate their response. The Stoic keeps power by responding intentionally. The disrespect happens. The Stoic observes it. Then the Stoic chooses a response that maintains their authority. The person who stays calm has more power than the person who loses control. Every single time, your boss took credit for your work. Everyone knows it. You could explode. You could go silent. Or you could look at your boss calmly and say, I'm glad the strategy is getting recognition. Should we walk through the implementation timeline I developed so everyone understands next steps? Quote, you didn't accuse. You didn't defend. You just calmly reminded the entire room who actually built the strategy by talking about implementation details only you know. The boss looks small. You look composed. And everyone sees exactly what happened. That's Stoic power. Not aggressive. Not passive. Calm, intentional, and devastatingly effective. The ideas in this video are for educational purposes and represent philosophical perspectives from history. They are not professional advice. Always consider your specific situation and consult appropriate professionals when needed. 5 Stoic responses. The mirror reflects disrespect back to its source. The redefinition takes away the insult's power. The question forces them to defend weak logic. The agreement neutralizes the attack. The silence dismisses them as irrelevant. Next episode. The ancient test that reveals what you actually believe versus what you think you believe. It's brutal, and it's usually right. And that's the wisdom behind it. If this helped you think deeper, subscribe for weekly explorations of philosophy and meaning. Thanks for watching.